Alright, so this is the 2014 OCR MEI paper, section A. So question 1, 1 over 27 to the power of 2/3. So that is the same thing as the cube root of 1 over 27 squared. So the cube root of 1 over 27 is 1/3. So it's 1/3 squared, which is 1 squared over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. Simplify it for a squared c squared cubed over 32 a to the power 4 c to the power 7. So first we're going to expand. So 4 to the power of 3 is 64, and then a squared cubed is a to the 6th, and then c cubed over 32 a to the power of 4 c to the power of 7. So when you divide powers you can subtract, so 64 divided by 32 is 2, and then a to the 6th divided by a to the 4 is a squared, and c to the 3 divided by c to the 7 is c to the 4. So that is how you would simplify it. A is at the point 1, 5, and B is at the point 6, minus 1. M is the midpoint of AB. Determine whether the line with equation y equals 2x minus 5 passes through M. So the midpoint, so that means point M is 1 plus 6 over 2, 5 minus 1. So the coordinates of M are 7 over 2, 2. So the equation is y equals 2x minus 5, sorry. So here the x value is 7 over 2, so y equals 2 times 7 over 2.
So y equals 2 times 7 over 2 minus 5, which equals 7 minus 5, which equals 2. So therefore the line with equation y equals 2x minus 5 does pass through M.
Figure 3 shows the graph of y equals f of x. Draw the graphs of the following. Y equals f of x minus 2. So that is a this is a transformations question. So because the minus 2 is on the outside, it affects the y values, and because it's minus, it means the y value goes down by 2. So this point would translate to here, and then it would pass through the origin, and this point would translate to here. So you would get something like that is part A, and then part B is f of x minus 3, and the x minus 3 is in the brackets. So for part B, let's make it red. You would get, so the graph would move 3 in the positive x direction. So 1, 2, 3, so this point would be here. 1, 2, 3, so you get this point here, and then 1, 2, 3, this one here. So therefore your answer would look something like this. Expand and simplify. 7 minus 2 root 3 squared. So this is just expansion. So 7 squared plus 2 times 7 times minus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 3 squared. So 7 squared is 49. And then you get minus 28 root 3. And then 2 root 3 squared is the same as root 12 squared. So you get 12. So you are left with 61 minus 28 root 3. Express 20 root 6 in the form a square root b, where a and b are integers and b is as small as possible. So 20 root 6 over root 50, you would times it by root 50 over 50, which is the same as 1. So we would get 20 square root, and 6 times 50 is 300 over 50. So square root 300 is the same as 10 root 3. So it would be 2/5 times 10 root 3, which gets you 4 root 3. Alright, nice. So make a the subject. So first we're going to expand. So we get 3a plus 12 equals ac plus 5f. Then we're going to move all the terms of a to one side. So we get 3a minus ac equals 5f minus 12. And then we're going to factor out a. So a, 3 minus c equals 5f minus 12. And then now you divide both sides by 3 minus c. So we get 5f minus a equals 5f minus 12 over 3 minus c. So solve the inequality 3x squared plus 10x plus 3 is more than 0. If you draw the graph, you would get something like this. And then, of course, it's asking for more than 0, so you want the point on the line where the values are more than 0. So that would be these points here. So that means you want to find the points where the line y equals 3x squared plus 10x plus 3 crosses the x-axis. So first we'll let it equal to 0. And then we'll factorize, so we'll get x plus 3, 3x plus 1. So our two roots of x is minus 3 and x is minus a third. So this point here would be minus a third, and this point here is minus 3. And then now we know that the x values have to be less than minus 3 and more than minus a third by looking at the graph. And we know here that it's not inclusive, so our answer is x is less than minus 3 or x is more than minus a third. Now you might have to put that in set notation to get the full marks. So find the coefficient of the x to the power 4 in binomial expansion. So it would be, so for this question, you know from the binomial expansion formula that the x to the power 4 coefficient will come with 7 choose 3 times 2x to the power of 4 times 5 to the power of 3. And so 7 choose 3 is 35. So we get 35 times 2x to the power of 4 is the same as 16x to the power of 4, and then 5 to the power of 3 is the same as 125. So 35 times 16 times 125 gets us 70,000. So 70,000 x to the power of 4. So our coefficient is 70,000. You are given that f of x equals 4x cubed plus kx plus 6, where k is a constant. When f of x is divided by x minus 2, the remainder is 42. Use the remainder theorem to find the value of k and hence find the root of f of x equals 0. So we'll say f of 2 and then we'll plug in our values. So 4 times 2 cubed plus k times 2 plus 6. And that value should equal 42. So we end up getting 2k plus 38 equals 42. So then 2k equals 4 and k equals 2. And to find a root of that equation, so our equation is 4x cubed plus 2x plus 6. If we plug in f of minus 1, we get that equals 0, so we know that x equals minus 1, and that is our root. So expand and simplify n squared plus n plus 1 squared plus n plus 2 squared. So you get n squared plus, and that is n squared plus 2n plus 1. And then this one is n squared plus 4n plus 4. And then when you add the terms, you get 3n squared plus 6n plus 5. So that is the answer to part 1. For values of n, the sum of the squares of these three consecutive numbers will be an even number. Wait, sorry. So, well, we know for any term, 5 will be odd. And then if n is odd, then 3n squared will be odd. And 6n will always be even. So, you know that odd plus even plus odd will equal even. And then the sum of the squares of these three consecutive integers, or when you add three consecutive even numbers, you get an even number. So the answer is when the values of n are odd numbers. I hope that makes sense. That is slightly confusing the way I explained it, but I hope it does make sense. Right, write down the coordinates of B. Circle center 4, 2, and the circle intersects at 1, 0. So that means this distance here is the same as this distance here. And of course, the y value will be 0, this on the x-axis. And then the distance from the x is 3, so the distance here must be 3. Therefore, x equals 7. So your coordinates of B are 7, 0. Find the radius of the circle and hence write down the equation of the circle. So the radius of the circle is the distance from the center to any point on the circumference. So we can work out this distance by, well, the change in x is 3 and the change in y is 2. So this distance here is going to be, the radius here is going to be square root of 3 squared plus 2 squared. which is root 13. So therefore the equation of the circle will be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals, and it's the radius squared, so 13. Alright, AD is the diameter of the circle. Find the coordinates of diameter D. So that means point D will be there. So AC is the same as CD. So AC is 3 in the positive x direction and 2 in the positive y direction. So CD will also be 3 in the positive x direction and 2 in the positive y direction. So that gets you 7, 4. Find the equation of the tangent of the circle at D. Give your answer in the form y equals ax plus b. Okay, so to do part 4, we're going to work out the gradient of the line CD first. So the gradient is change in y over change in x. And here the change in y is 2 and the change in x is 3. Okay, and so the tangent is a bad line, but it is perpendicular to this line. So therefore the gradient of the tangent will be the negative reciprocal, which is minus 3 over 2. And now you just use your equation of the line, which is y minus y1 equals the gradient times x minus x1. So, well, your y1 is 4 and your x1 is 7. So it's y minus 4 equals minus 3 over 2 x minus 7. So when you expand and simplify, you get y equals minus 3 over 2x plus 29 over 2, I believe. Okay, so write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the curve and the coordinates of the minimum point. So because it's an x squared graph, the line of symmetry is going to be the vertical line that splits this x squared graph in half. And so the equation is y equals x minus 4 squared minus 3. So this is just an x squared graph that has been translated 4 in the positive x direction and 3 in the negative y direction. So therefore this point here must be 4, minus 3. So that is your minimum point. And then the equation of the line of symmetry is going to be this line here that splits the x squared curve and passes through this point. So your equation of line of symmetry is going to be x equals 4. The coordinates of the points of intersection of the curve with the x-axis and the y-axis using surds where necessary. So the curve is going to cross the x-axis when y equals 0. So therefore we let y equals 0. We get x minus 4 squared minus 3 equals 0. So we get x minus 4 squared equals 3. And we get x minus 4 equals square root 3. And of course it's going to be plus or minus. So your two values are x equals 4 plus or minus square root 3. So this one would be 4 minus root 3, and this one here will be 4 plus square root 3. And now to find the point of intersection on the y-axis. So x is going to equal 0. So y equals 0 minus 4 squared minus 3, which is 16 minus 3, so 13. So it crosses here at 13. So your three coordinates are, therefore your three coordinates are going to be 4 minus root 3, 4 minus root 3, comma 0, 4 plus root 3, comma 0, and 0, comma 13. Those are going to be your 3 points. The curve is translated by 2 in the positive x direction and nothing in the y direction. So show that the equation of the translated curve may be written as, alright, so if we write in terms of f of x, so f of x equals x minus 4 squared minus 3, and if it's translated 2 in the positive x direction, it's going to be f of x minus 2, so it's going to be x minus 2 minus 4 squared minus 3, which is the same as x minus 6 squared minus 3. And when you expand that, you get x squared minus 12x plus 36 minus 3. And then you can simplify that into x squared minus 12x plus 33, which is this. Show that the line y equals 8 minus 2x meets the curve y equals x squared minus 12x plus 33 at just one point, and find the coordinates of this point. Alright, so we're going to get 8 minus 2x equal x squared minus 12x plus 33. So we're going to rearrange, so we get x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. And then we're going to complete the square, so we get x minus 5 squared minus 5 squared plus 25 equals 0. So we're left with x minus 5 squared equals 0. So therefore the only x value for where they meet is x minus 5. So that shows that it only intercepts at one point. And now we just need to find the y value, so it lies on the y line. So the point x equals 5 lies on the line y equals 8 minus 2x. So we just do y equals 8 minus 2 times 5, which is minus 2. So the coordinate's going to be 5, minus 2. Use the intersections to show that, question 12. Use the intersections to show that both axes? Use the intersections with both axes to express the equation of the curve in a factorized form. So the line crosses at minus 5, minus 2, and 3/2. So that means, well, first of all, you're going to have y equals x plus 5 because it crosses at minus 5. And then x plus 2 because it crosses at minus 2. And then 2x minus 3 as it crosses at 3/2 here. To make sure that the graph doesn't need to be stretched here. To make sure that the y-intercept's 30, if we just times 5 times 2 times minus 3, that gets us minus 30. So we can leave it as that. We don't have to add any coefficient to the front of this. Hence, the equation of the curve may be written as y equals 2x cubed plus 11x squared minus x minus 30. Okay, well this is just expanding. So first we can expand the x plus 5 and the x plus 2. So we get x squared plus 7x plus 10, 2x minus 3. And then when we expand this, we get 2x cubed plus 14x plus 14x squared plus 20x minus 3x squared minus 21x minus 30, and that gets us 2x cubed plus 11x squared minus x minus 30. So that's part 2. Draw the line y equals 5x plus 10 accurately on the graph. The curve and this line intersect at minus 2, 0. Find graphically the x coordinates of the other coordinates. Find graphically the x coordinates of the other points of intersection. So 5x plus 10, so that means it crosses the x-axis at 10. Then the gradient is 5. So just plot each point in its position and then draw an accurate line with a ruler. I do not have a ruler, so my line will not be accurate. However, it will look something like this. And then you should see on the graph where the 2 points are. I would say looking at this graph, the x coordinate for this is around minus 5.3, and then this one would be around 1.8. So my two values would be minus 5.3 and 1.8. Show algebraically that the x coordinates of the other points of intersection satisfy the equation 2x squared plus 7x minus 20. Hence find the exact values for the x coordinates of the other points of intersection. Alright, so we're going to equate the two equations of the line. So 5x plus 10 equals 2x cubed plus 11x squared minus x minus 30. So that gets us 2x cubed plus 11x squared minus 6x minus 40 equals 0. And then you can see here that it's minus 20 and we have minus 40. So if we are going to divide it by any of these three factors here, we will divide it by the x plus 2 factor. So we'll have 2x squared at the top, so we'll get 2x cubed plus 4x squared. That gets us 7x squared minus 6x minus 40. So we'll add 7x on the top, so 7x squared plus 14x minus 40, 20x minus 40. So then we'll add minus 20x minus 40, so we'll minus 20, and that gets us a remainder of 0. So therefore this cubic can be factorized into x plus 2 times 2x squared plus 7x minus 20 equals 0. So find the other x coordinate. So we know that minus 2 is the other one. So now we need to find the other one. So 2x squared plus 7x minus 20. So here we're just going to use quadratic formula. So x equals minus 7 plus or minus. square root 7 squared, which is 49, minus 4 times 2 times minus 20 over 2 times 2. So this should get you x equals minus 7 plus or minus square root 209 over 4.
I hope this video helped. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did find it useful, and comment any other exams or questions that you would want me to do.